Hello, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Yenny. I'm back from my short little self-proclaimed break I took on YouTube. Thank you to those of you who reached out to me on that little community posting that I put up. It's still very weird that I can put those things up now through Instagram DMs. I really appreciate it. I feel like I'm doing a lot better. I was about to say I've been thinking a lot recently. I'm always thinking a lot, maybe a little too much. But a lot of things led up to me really wanting to intentionally take that mental health break from YouTube. Obviously 2020, quarantine, coronavirus, elections, that on like the macro scale, you know, being unemployed. And really, I was able to dive into more of like my side hobbies, which is doing YouTube, and I have my little Etsy store. I'm making a video on this, by the way, if you guys are interested in the reality of starting an Etsy store, because I feel like on YouTube I was looking at videos, this is obviously a tangent, and everyone that makes videos seems to be people who already like have an established like income from it and like they know what they're doing, and then I had no idea what I was doing when I started an Etsy shop, like taxes, and anyway, that's a whole different video. But yeah, these past 6 months of quarantine and being unemployed, I have been able to dive into a lot of my side hobbies, and it made me think a lot about where is any of the things that I'm doing, is it gonna go somewhere? Like, what do I want to do with it, right? And I think that came from the fact that I was feeling very unstable and vulnerable during this time, not having the job, not knowing where the future is gonna look like. And like I said, it's a corona thing, but it's also a personal thing. It all just trickles down in that way. And I also started thinking a lot about YouTube, and I checked recently and I've been consistently making YouTube videos, at least one video a week, definitely at least 2-3 videos a month for the past 2 years. And that was crazy to me because, I mean, first of all, I reached another milestone, which is 20,000 subscribers. Thank you to each and every one of you who have subscribed. The numbers just get weird. I just get weirded out. I'm like, oh, that's weird, but really cool. I was thinking about, where is my YouTube channel going to go? What am I doing with this? And I think I was thinking a lot about that because if you notice here on YouTube, just putting it bluntly, YouTube is, I believe, for entertainment mostly, right? You look at the trending tab, you look at the videos that gets the views, right? And as much as I think a lot of people like to say the views don't matter, the numbers don't matter, we live in a number-driven world. And I used to also think that views don't matter, numbers don't matter. But to be honest, there's so many videos that I've made that I feel like has the potential to help other people. And yeah, when it gets more views, it makes me happy because that means I get more like interaction from you guys who have seen those videos, that more of you find me, and I can somehow, by making these little silly videos, help you in any way. And in a sense, I am in this for myself because it makes me happy being able to help other people. I actually started my YouTube channel like in 2013, but I really wasn't uploading much, and then I started with song covers because I like to sing. Those are all privated and down, so please don't try to look for them. I thought a lot about me being a therapist on YouTube. How am I doing this right? Because especially a lot of you have been asking me throughout these past 2 years, oh, I'm also in the mental health field, or I'm going to be in it, I'm in school studying, and I want to also like cultivate an online platform or something like that where you can build a community. That's what I'm trying to do here, right? Build a community of mental health workers or mental health enthusiasts who can talk about authentically what they're going through, and even, you know, spread awareness and advocacy and all that important stuff that I care so much about. If you're a doctor or a nurse, I think any other professions in the healthcare field, generally, like, there's many nurses with vlogging channels, with social media accounts, many doctors who can do that, but the realm of therapy and mental health and the realm that I'm in can be a little more taboo because our work has to do with our client's mind and how they could perceive us. So when I started seeing these questions, I was thinking of, what am I doing? What have I been doing? Have I been doing enough to keep myself safe, first of all, and also to make sure that this YouTube channel is something that will remain positive, remain educational and useful to you guys, while also making sure I'm kind of not stepping on my own tail in a sense when it comes to my own clinical career and what I want. And I kind of made a list. Clearly this isn't like the most formal video because it's my first video back. Please cut me some slack. An official list on my phone to kind of talk about it and what I've done so far. And it's not perfect. There's no guideline or there's no rule book out there that tells you how to be a therapist with a social media presence. If anything, I'll get into it. I did some background research to see what I can and cannot do, and basically it's a very gray area. It's very dependent on the individual. So yeah, social media, YouTube as a therapist and what that's like and what I've been doing. So what I've done so far, first of all, is I want to always make sure that I have a clear purpose for why I'm here. So I make it clear that my channel is for educational purposes only. It's not therapy. And I do that by when I get comments or DMs asking, like, people want me to be their therapist, which I think is an absolute honor. Thank you so much. Like, that'd be so great to work with you guys. But I'm not on this channel to promote my job, to promote my business, to promote myself as a therapist. I don't know if you got that vibe or not, but I'm not here like, oh, by the way, check out my website. These are my rates. If you want to work with me, call this number. I've never uttered those words because that's not why I'm here. I'm here to make educational videos, not therapy, okay? And then, so I've made that very clear, hopefully to you guys, and I redirect requests for therapy to local professionals. So if it's a general like link online that I can maybe, link to you guys, I can do that. Like, oh, here's some more resources, here's some more information. But if you want individualized help, I let you know, hey, first of all, if this is a crisis, please call 911. That's what's most important. And number two, like look at your local area. Who is in your local area who can help you? That's as far as I'll get involved. I like to redirect, letting them know once again that my purpose here, like the reason why you see my face and hear my voice on social media is not for me to provide you with therapy. It's to just education, information sharing, and that is it. Now the second part, I looked into the social work ethical code. There's a code of conduct that every mental health title, lettering, whether you're an LPCC, LMFT, LMSW, all these letters, there's a code of conduct that every one of us need to know about and learn about and live by in order to keep our licenses, in order to make sure that we are in the ethical realm, right? Making sure that we're treating our patients correctly, making sure we're doing our jobs, right? And ultimately, end of the day, not harming anyone. That's the most important thing. Therapists, social workers are allowed to have their own lives in social media outside of work. And the way that, so when I look into the social work ethical code, they only just give guidelines, like be careful. Like obviously one thing that they say pretty explicitly is don't add your clients on social media. If you get friend requests from your clients, decline them, block them, and maybe even use that as something to talk about in therapy. Like, why did you feel and how did you feel when you saw me on social media? Because I think there's various layers to why it could be taboo to add your therapist or your client on social media. At least from my understanding is that when you do therapy, psychotherapy, there's an element of protecting yourself as the clinician. Like, I don't want them to know more information about me than what I tell them, right? Because that's my own privacy. Even if I'm working with them every week for years, it's my right to privacy to let them know what I want them to know, right? There's that. And also blurring that line of professionalism at the office and them potentially seeing my personal Instagram and seeing my family and friends and all that, it could affect our work. Where example could be, let's say this client is new to me and he lost a child a few years ago in a car accident. But me and this client, we're not in a place where he feels comfortable enough with me to tell me that. And then somehow he comes across my social media and he's added me and I'm like, oh wait, that's my client, let's add him. And he sees that I have a son, for example. I don't have children, but for example, that could affect how he perceives me as his therapist. And it could make him feel like he wants to tell me about his loss, or it could make him feel like I'll never understand because my child is alive. And obviously that's a very extreme example, but connecting with your clients on social media will most likely alter how they perceive you in therapy and will affect the work. It could in a positive way, but there's so many ways that it could affect it in a negative way. So the National Association of Social Work, the NASW Code of Ethics just says don't add clients. Obviously, they also say like don't date clients, don't have inappropriate relationships with clients, and the Code of Ethics says certain things pretty explicitly, but when it comes to social media, I believe the only things that they say quite explicitly is don't add your patients on social media, but they also say social therapists and social workers are able to have their own social media, and it's our personal lives. It's our right to be able to have this thing that I do. So knowing that, like if the ethical code had said I'm not allowed to have social media, I would not have created this. I would have gotten rid of this YouTube channel, because as much as I love doing this, don't get me wrong, I would never want to do anything that gets in the way of my work with my clients. So yeah, I would have gotten rid of this YouTube channel, but I already looked through the ethical code. I've spoken to professors while I was at university. An ethical code, last thing before we move on to like work and YouTube, I never use client names. I never use agency names. I protect PHI always, which is personal health information. This is the information that is legally protected of each of my clients that I work with or at my agency. I don't talk about my clients on this channel. I'm not here being like, oh, I don't know, like Box is a client I see it every Tuesday. He's a divorced father and blah 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 blah. And no, I don't do that. Not only because that's not what this channel is for, but also that's so inappropriate. Like that person, Box, has the right to his privacy. Who am I to air out all of his life information that he so graciously, invited me into by being his therapist to thousands of people on the internet? That is unethical. I do not do that. Now, second and last thing is work and YouTube. So every time I start a new job, whether it was an internship or a job, I bring it up to HR that I have a YouTube channel. I do. I just want to be transparent from the beginning when I start a new job, because I don't want them to like find my YouTube channel, which is difficult in itself. I'll get into that. And I let them know I make educational mental health social work videos online, and I have a small but really special online community that I've built up, that you've all found me, we found each other in a sense, and I've never had any issues. If anything, they were like, oh, like that's really cool that you do that. Just make sure you read the ethical code, which I made sure to do. Make sure you're not adding clients. Make sure you are, professional. Make sure nothing on your YouTube channel could reflect the place I work with or my clients in a negative or harmful way, which I don't do. Like I said, I'm not here to talk shit about my agencies that I've worked with. I'm not here to talk shit about my patients. That's not what this is for. And I'm not really the type to want to come on to the internet and rant and defame people. And then now lastly is identity. So my identity here on YouTube as Yeonni, and outside of the internet as a mental health worker, and how I keep those pretty separate. Number one, in case you guys didn't know, I'll let you in on a little secret. Yeonni isn't really my name. It's an alias that I've been using online for years now. Yeah, so my legal actual name that's tied to my license and my job is not online. It's not on the internet. Anytime this face comes up, it's associated with Yeonni. On my YouTube, on my Instagram. That's one thing I do just to protect my own identity. And it used to really freak me out when like people would say, oh, like type in your name on Google and see what comes up. And so at this point, I checked just like last week. I like to always check my online alias and my real name never comes together. Secondly, regarding my identity, I don't talk to my coworkers or my clients or patients about my online presence. I don't talk to them about my YouTube channel because, first of all, it's irrelevant. Why am I talking to my patients about my personal life? If anything, I shouldn't be doing that. This is for me as an individual, not as their therapist. So I don't talk to my coworkers or my patients about my YouTube channel. Last thing I want to say is, who knows where this channel is going to go, right? Who knows where this Yeonni, hi.yeonni persona, not a persona, I'm me, just this alias, this presence, where this is going to go, because I feel like through this channel, I've had such amazing opportunities, and I'm not talking about like working with brands and like that's been fun, but like the emails that I get from you guys. I had a USC professor reached out to me like last year asking if she could use my like what is social work video in one of her lectures, and I was like, yeah, I guess so. That's so cool. Those kinds of things are what gets me really excited to be on this platform. Those are the opportunities that I'm talking about. And I don't want to just stop making videos because, at least from my research, I'm doing everything I can to do this in an ethical way, and I'm not harming anyone. I've taken every precaution I can to keep myself and my identity safe. Who knows? Every day, every week, I'm researching and making sure that I'm doing this thing right. So if you're also interested in your own, cultivating your own online presence in a way as a social worker and therapist, I hope any of the things that I mentioned in this video could have been helpful to you. So I've done some digging around here and there, looking for other therapists and social workers, and I've seen a lot of different things on the spectrum. I think the number one therapist that I think maybe a lot of us think of on YouTube is Katie Morton. She was on Shane Dawson's documentary, and Katie Morton, I believe that's her name because she has her license on her channel. She talks about only educational content, and she also has a Patreon where she provides like therapy to some of her subscribers. So clearly Katie Morton does things very differently from how I do. So her YouTube channel is connected to her personal business, but that's not me. That was not the point of this channel. I don't want to do that. This is a side thing for me. It's very special that I keep it separate from my main career. And other people I've seen is people that don't use names at all. It's all just educational. I've seen some students who are in like grad school, PhD programs, master's programs in the mental health field using their actual names and making like what it's like being a PhD in counseling, psychology student. So everyone kind of does things differently, I think. But this is how I do it. This is how I feel comfortable doing things, and how I feel like will allow me to continue making videos on YouTube and still keep me feeling safe and helpful and continue this thing that we have going on here. Oh God, you can tell I haven't done this in like a few weeks. I talk so much and I'm sweaty and I'm hungry. It's 1 p.m. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I know this was a really important one, so I wanted to come back with this one. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. If this is your first time on my channel, or if you've seen a few of my videos but are still not yet subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. We are at 20,000 subscribers, which is such a crazy number. Thank you to each and every one of you who subscribed to my channel. I hope you're here because I was able to help you in any way with any of my little videos. Yeah, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. I hope you're taking care of yourselves physically, emotionally, mentally. I started saying that at one point and I think it's just like my outro now, but it's important. It's important to be reminded to take care of yourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, and yes, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!